world of dogs is so fun. There's always something new to learn, always. In the late 60s, I was going to San Jose State, and I saw this young man with an Afghan hound on campus, and he was throwing, the dog was loose and running, and all this magnificent coat all over the place, and then it went over and stood in the fountain. And it was so intriguing because the wet legs, you could see how very slender and graceful the dog was underneath all of this hair. And so I wanted to get an Afghan hound because I thought they were such fascinating creatures. And so that's what started the whole thing. And I've always been involved in photography all my life. I got my first camera when I was 9 years old. That was a long time ago. And so, photography and Afghans. And then after you groom Afghans for a number of years, then you realize, there's something more to life than grooming. So I always would look at the Saluki people, and they'd be over there, and they'd be sitting in the shade, and then be drinking wine and eating cheese and crackers and discussing all the topics of the day. And I'm going, that's what I want to do. Instead, groom. Anyway, so it just progresses, and of course, I've always taken pictures wherever we go, and we would take pictures at the dog show and do, like private sittings of the dog show and all these beautiful dogs. And then finally one day somebody said, well, I want you to come and do wind pictures. And I, oh, what are those? Oh, okay. So first event I ever did was it was an Afghan event, and they listed 2 people as photographers, Jill Richards and myself. And so it was time to do pictures, and so we both would kneel down to take a picture, and I sort of looked at Jill, and Jill didn't say anything. So I said, okay, move this foot and move this foot. Okay, and that, all right, that's great. And you throw the squeaky and you take, and that was great, because taking candids is one thing when you grab it when it's there, but then, how can you move this and move that and get it to be even better just standing there? So that's what took off. And then in the early 70s, my friend Hobie Brown, he said, I want you to come and shoot my all-breed show. And this was never on my radar. It was Hobie Brown's idea. And so he says, first I want you to come and shoot my fun match. And I did that. And those were the days we did black and white. This is before we even had color film. So I did that, and that was okay. And then I went to do, in 1976, I did my first all-breed show, and it was Sir Francis Drake. So, and it was fun. And it was, you get to photograph these beautiful dogs, and you send out these pictures, and people send you money. It was a revelation. Anyways, it's all Hobie's fault. And then Warren and I got married in 74. So he and I were married, and I did Francis Drake. And then about 83, he joined me in the business. So then, and so it's wonderful. We get to do all of this together, and we just love it. It is amazing. We've gone, first from black and white film, and then there were the days when people were starting to want color, because all of our ads in the magazine were always black and white. And then finally, they had magazines that could do color. So, the first camera I had for the dog shows was a twin lens Rolly. And then I got a Hasselblad. That was a big purchase. And Hasselblad, and it had backs you could put on, take off, right? And so started people getting interested in color. And so I would carry a back that had black and white, and then one that had color. And so I'd ask them, do you want this in black and white or color? And they would choose. And then I'd put that back on and take that picture with that. And then another, and then so that went on for a while. And then pretty soon everybody, they were just happy with color. They wanted color. And then another evolution in the dog show thing is that we didn't always use signs. Now it's like you got to have best winners and major first points and the name of the show and everything in there. And so, but we didn't used to do that. It used to be about the dog and the handler and the judge. But now the sign is all involved. So that's a whole nother evolution. And then in 2000, before about 98, Warren started working with digital. And by 2000, we were totally digital because we had moved to Oregon. There were no photo labs any place close to where we were moving. And so we just got, well, we'll have to do our own. We'll have to do everything digital. So we've been digital ever since. And I think we were the first ones to go digital of any of the dog show photographers. And there was that was a big thing. You know, it's like, oh, no, I do real pictures because I'm using film. And I go, okay, fine. All right. So and then a few years later, they show up with a digital camera and they're doing digital. So, okay, all right. But it's just always evolving. Warren is the technical guy. I'm the artist. In 2000, we did that for six months. We had a trailer, and Warren would actually sit in the back of the trailer. I would take the pictures, and then he would process them, and people could come in and pick their picture and get them printed. But it just wasn't really practical because people. For one thing, it works better if we both can do the pictures at the shows because then it's not hard on one person over the other. And, and individuals, when they pick their picture, they agonize it over, for like 20 minutes. They're looking at this picture and looking at this picture. And you can tell, you can go through pictures, you look at them quickly and you go, okay, this is where the dog looks the best. That's the best one. But they go through all these little details. And so it's just better this way. And then this is our latest reincarnation now. We have just gone to the website because you listen to people and you listen to what they want. They want to see the picture before they pay for it, okay? And they want to have the option. They want to have different packages so they can get from the website. They go to the website, they find their image, they click on that, and then they pick a package that they want. They can get just a digital, or they can get digital and prints or whatever, all sorts of combinations. And there it is. And so that's what Warren's doing tonight. He's editing all the pictures that we did today. And so that's what he does every night. And then he gets them up late in the evening, like midnight, and then people can have them. And that was the other thing. You have to listen to what people want. People wanted pictures right away, because now everything it goes on Facebook, and then it goes into all the print ads and all the digital magazines and everything. They want them right away. So you have to listen to what they're asking for and try to give it to them. And of course, the benefit is now I don't have to spend 8 to 10 hours every day at my desk mailing pictures and doing all that paperwork. So now we go home and, for the most part, we're done. So one day a week, we print all the orders that we get because we still get orders for prints, and we mail them out, and then we're done. Lots of incarnations. It's hard to think of what could be next. We live in the southern part of Oregon. It has weather very much like Northern California. We live in Eagle Point, although we're not close to Eagle Point. It's in the mountains, way above Eagle Point, where we are. Surrounded by national forests. So, and we have a creek that runs through the property. So we really enjoy it there. And it's got shops on it, and 3 goat barns and a big barn, so we have a kennel and all that kind of stuff. So starts with Costco. First you have to get your provisions. You have to get your RV packed. This is the 3rd RV that we've owned, and we got this one. Warren found this one used. He did a lot of research and found just the brand he wanted. He found one that was used, and it happened to be a half an hour from our home, so we could go down and look at it. So that's what he did. He bought it, and we picked it up on August 8th. So we've had it almost for a year. But first you go to Costco and you get all your provisions, all right? Fill it up with water, and then you start and you drive to wherever, like we're coming here. This is at Del Monte. We're in Carmel Valley. It's like one of the most beautiful shows there is. And you drive here and you get parked, and then you get up early enough to get to the dog show. Like on Friday, the first thing I had was the Danes sweepstakes started at 9. And so, when you have specialties, you like to spend time with the people and watch the judging, so you have some kind of basis of communication with them. And then, they judge, and the judge does their thing, and then at the end, you do the pictures. So you basically sit around and visit, until the end, and it's time to do pictures. And then you go over and you race all around and do all this and make it all right and perfect, and, you know, help this person with their jacket, pull your jacket down, you know, smile, do your hair and all this. Okay, ready, here we go. And oh, the dog, move this foot and move that. Okay, here we go. We get nice pictures. So you work like that. And we finished, I think we finished on Friday. Warren did the English setters, and they had 2 specialties, and the Danes had 2 specialties, and I did those. And so then we go into the motorhome, and he downloads everything and edits it all, and then sends it to our IT guy, and he gets it up on the website. But by 6 o'clock, we were all done with all of that. So then we wanted to go grocery shopping so I could get lettuce, so I could maybe make salad for dinner, because I forgot that. You know, no matter how many lists you make, you still forget something. And then we decided, since we really didn't have to go back to the motorhome, we went to dinner. We went down to the Baja Cantina and had a very nice dinner there. And then we came back and took our showers and went to bed. So that's pretty much how the weekend goes. And that's just 3 days of that. The all-breed shows are a little different because you do pictures throughout the day and get to visit with all the people and talk to the judges and pick their brains. And it's lots of fun. It's lots of fun. There's always somebody to talk to, and there's always something to learn, even though, you know, we've both been in dogs since the late 60s. And before that for me, because my mom had dogs and we would go to dog class and stuff. That was when we lived in Michigan, though. So it's interesting. It's an interesting life. There's always something to learn about some breed or some procedure or some club or some. There's always something. Yeah, some new person to meet. We have side hounds mainly. We mainly Salukis. We both started in Afghans, and then in '78 moved on to Salukis, and I've bred Salukis and Greyhounds and Afghans and Pekinos, all hounds. I like that they have been bred for thousands of years to think on their own. If you ask a Saluki to do something, they'll take it under advisement. And maybe they'll do it, maybe they won't. But I love that independence. And, you know, and then there's also the practicality of it. When World War III comes, I'll have dinner on the table, because they'll find me dinner. Mainly, we've done open field coursing, which is live game. And I've actually bred a dog that won the grand course, which is a really big deal in the world of open field coursing. They compete in all of these events all year, and then they come together. The best of the best comes together and compete in February, and they'll have one grand winner. They have breed hunts, and then they have the all breed events, and you have one winner. And Salukis don't always win those, but one I bred did. In the Central Valley, we hunt jackrabbits, and they hunt 3 abreast. So you have them in blankets, yellow, pink, and blue. And they walk together until the jackrabbit appears, and then the hunt master calls tally-ho, and they're all released. And the way they're graded is on the work that they do. Like, do they come up and pressure the hair? Do they make it turn? Does this dog go by this dog? So that's speed, you know, or, you know, it's all the work that the dogs do, and they're, you know, pointed, and you figure out how many points each dog's at. And then you have a grand winner. And of course, when you take the game, then you get extra points. It's natural ability, and you have to expose it to them when they're young. And they have to have the conditioning, you know, like running over open ground. You know, they have to know where their feet are gonna fall. I took a dog that I had bought from a very good breeder, but she'd never been out running loose. And she broke her toe in the open field. She was a great runner, but she wasn't used to, you know, watching where her feet were. Anyways, so yeah, natural ability, but exposure. They need to have training. So when we were open field coursing a lot, we lived in Aptos, and every morning I would take a bunch of them to the beach, and they would run on the soft sand, which is very, very good for them. And the salt water is very good for their feet. They have to have tough feet, so. that was great. Yeah. Now they just get to run in, in the big meadows. We have an upper meadow and a lower meadow, and then we have a small mini meadow too. So they all have to run every day that we're home. They get to run. My father was an airline pilot, and he worked for Flying Tiger Line, and he actually did this stint up in the Arctic. And at one point, he came back with like 2 sled dogs. That was in the 50s, and he brought them home. This is before we had distemper shots or any of that, and then we had little dogs, and then my first exposure to purebred dogs was when I got my first Afghan in 1969. So, and never looked back. We had our big desert bred project, which was this bitch was rescued by a soldier after the Desert Storm, the first war in '91. And the soldier brought him back, and this beautiful Saluki ended up living with the Greens in Houston, Texas. And in Salukis, doesn't happen in all breeds, but in Salukis, we honor dogs from the countries of origin, which is like Saudi Arabia, Kuwait. And so this Saluki bitch ended up living with the Greens in Houston, Texas. And we go through this critique system where they get critiqued by different people, and her critiques were all excellent. And so the Greens, her name was Luga, and they wanted to breed her to a Saluki. So they could have bred her to any Saluki in the whole United States or the world. But they chose our dog, Hotfoot, who was an AKC champion and an open field champion, CCCM, and then AKC champion. And so, and this wasn't something that just happened overnight. It wasn't, like they lived in Texas. We lived in California at the time. And so we tried chilled semen. That didn't work. She didn't produce. And so I thought, well, Salukis are primitive, especially if they've had to be out on their own and protecting themselves. She'd gotten injured and had one blind eye. And I thought, this bitch needs to fall in love. And there had never been a person or a dog that didn't love Hotfoot. So I flew my dog to Houston, Texas. And Luga got to meet him. We went to the vets, and I said, you take her over there on that side of that lawn, and I'm going to bring Hotfoot in over here. And of course, they come in, and we stop, and she looks, and you can tell. She goes, oh, he's handsome. And of course, he's doing all of this handsome stuff, But she got to fall in love, and then she produced 8 puppies. And that's what started our whole desert bred. So she's generation 0. The puppies were generation 1. And that was my Bushra I got from that litter. And then her son, Jude, won the Grand Course. And we had all these wonderful friends, because see, these dogs, until they're generation 3, you don't have a 3-generation written pedigree. And once you have a 3-generation pedigree, then they can be registered with the AKC, and then they can be shown. So we had to have all of these great friends, raise all these great dogs, generation 1 and 2s, and then our own litter of Gen 3s. We had 5 in the litter, and they all finished, and 3 of them are grand champions. So that's a success story. But that took a lot of time, a lot of time, and a lot of devotion for a lot of good people. Vicky Clark was one person. She took 2 of them on, and Linda Lanero took 2 of them on, and one went to Canada. So all of these Gen 2s have had all of these litters. So they've had a big effect on Salukis. And they're all both capable and beautiful. So we're very proud of that adventure. Very successful. I think the most successful desert bred line. A lot of dogs have come over from different countries, Kuwait and Saudi Arabia and all these, but I think that our line, we just lucked into it. It's not that I created it or anything, but we just lucked into it. And I started with this beautiful bitch, Luga, and Hotfoot, and went on from there. So that's one line of Salukis. Then I have another line of Salukis, and those are all Gen Arabis, which are all, American. Gen Arabi is a very famous line of Salukis. And so then I have a litter of 2-year-olds from the Gen Arabi line. And it's interesting. My Gen Arabis look very much like my Gen 3s. They're beautiful Salukis that are capable and beautiful. Like, what do you look, if you do the judge's education for Salukis, the first thing they say is, we're looking for the hunter in the ring. And these are hunters. So. I think AKC did a really good thing when they came up with the Grand Champion, because a lot of people, they would show their dogs and finish them, and then there would be, people that would be campaigning their dogs, and so they would tend to win a lot. And the other dogs, sort of gave up. Why should I show my champion when this other one seems to win so much? But this gave, the rest of the folks something to work on. And of course now we have grand champions and bronze grand champions and silver grand champions and gold grand champions and platinum grand champions. But it's, you have a goal, you're working towards a goal, so that's a good thing. And a select is, you have best of breed, best of opposite, and then you have your select, your dog and your bitch. So it's like going reserve to best of breed or reserve to best of opposite. So I think that was a really good thing. And to keep people showing their champions. Because otherwise they'd have to go out, if they want to show more, they'd have to go out and get another dog and start all over again, when they can just show their dog that they love and they've trained for all these years. So that's a good thing. I think that's a neat thing. And I also like the owner handled. The biggest complaint that I've heard over the years is, oh, the handlers always win, the handlers always win. Well, there's a reason the handlers always win. First of all, they have a pick of any of the dogs to show. They usually can pick whatever one, and they pick the best one they have. And of course, they have some experience, so they know how to groom it, how to train it, and how to treat it and present it in the ring. So, there's a reason. And they're doing this to earn their living. So they have a lot invested in it. And I think having the owner, my theory is, if you can go to a dog show and you get to take a nice ribbon home, you're more likely to come back. So that's part of it. But the other part of it for me too is, like, on the weekends that we're not working, we go to dog shows. If there's a dog show in Oregon, we go to the dog show and show our dogs. And and this is a very important thing that we do, because I don't want to ever be that photographer that says, oh, that's good enough. I just can't bear that. I can't bear that. I always want to know how that person feels with that win and how important it is to them. But when we show dogs, one of the most important decisions we make of the day is where we're going to go have breakfast, or where we're going out to lunch, or where we're going to dinner. So the glue that holds us all together is the relationships that we develop over the years. That's what's important. So if we can find some way in the dog world to promote these relationships and keep friends, we will keep our dog shows going. I think that's the most important thing in the world of dogs. And to be kind to each other and develop friendships, because that's what it's all about. Coming to the dog show is just part of it. And some of us, it's like the only thing, you come to the dog show because you want to win and you want to finish your dog. But that's only part of it. There's all this other part. It's a social outlet, There's a bigger picture, right? And the more friends you have, you can delight in their successes, So maybe you didn't win today, but your friend did. The handlers come for one reason, because this is the way they earn their living. But the rest of us, and to the AKC's own figures, 20% of the 20% of the dogs that are shown at any given show are shown by handlers. But the other 80% are shown by breeders and owners. That's the bigger percentage. So just some people are here to earn their living. Most of the people come here to have a good time, enjoy their hobby, and their mutual interest in the world of purebred dogs. So we need to do things that bring us together. So then our latest thing is education. If people know more about dogs, about the world of dogs, they're more likely to continue coming. So this is something that my friend Laura Reeves is working on through Purebred Dogs. She has podcasts and she interviews and records people, and that's what we need. We need more education. The more you know about what you're doing, the more you'll enjoy it and you'll keep doing it. So education. So other than that, I don't know what's going to happen. And in April, I got approved to judge Salukis. Yay! That was a big goal of mine. And I think everybody should be able to judge their own breed. You know, they're an expert. They've been in it for years and have all this experience. They should be able to give their opinion on their breed. And I'll work on some more breeds because I've bred Afghans and Salukis and Greyhounds, and owned Whippets, but also bred Pekinos, so I'll go for those. So that's kind of fun. I did my interview to become a permit judge with Brian Martin. He's the rep for the Pacific Northwest, right? I've known him for years, taken his picture for years. He always showed beautiful, beautiful Bassets, among others. And so this is what we do. We sit down in the lunchroom, and he says, okay, give me your spiel. And so 45 minutes later, he says, okay. I think I must have taken a few breaths in there, but you know, you've been around for a few years, you've seen a few things, and you have an opinion, yeah. I usually try to keep quiet. We belong to an all-breed club, Southern Oregon Kennel Club. I'm president of it. Warren is the show chairman, and he's also our delegate. And we also belong to the Reno Kennel Club, and I am the delegate for the Reno Kennel Club, just brand new delegate. So there's all these things that we do, but we're just like totally absorbed in the world of dogs. I have an opinion about just anything. What would you like to know? And my first actual assignment will be next June. So I would like to judge at some all-breed shows because I know that there will be AKC reps there. In order for me to go on and work on my other breeds, I will need to be officially approved for Salukis first. So, but I loved it. It's fun. It's really fun to learn. And I mean, I photographed all these breeds for all of these years, but then it's fun to read the standard, talk to the breeders, and actually learn, you know, why is it that I like this dog over this dog? Well, this is why, you know, this is what this breed's. So. That's why the world of dogs is so fun. There's always something new to learn. Always, yeah. So this is what I tell people today. They're going to campaign their dog. Okay, so you have a nice win. Okay, get your official win picture taken. All right, but that day, you know, within an hour or so when you win, you take a picture of your dog and your handler and the ribbon. And that goes on Facebook. So that's your first exposure. Then with us, the next day you can get your win picture. So then you put that on Facebook. And so this is the second exposure for one win. And then if you do print advertising or you advertise in a digital magazine, that's your third exposure. So one win, you can get 3 exposures. Facebook is very powerful.